between you and the bar, that's okay. If it's me between you and your sweet, well, that's not a problem. So enjoy your sweet, enjoy your pudding. It's been an absolutely fantastic event so far. And how could I ever follow the wonderful Lola? With great difficulty. Not because she spoke first, I made my notes when she was speaking. And she talked about breaking through. Here's a question, and I'll buy you all a drink. No, I won't. I'll buy the person a drink who answers this question. Breaking through is dead. What's the name of the programme that's replaced it?
What's
You're
that say again?
people.
What's it say? What did it say?
You're B&E people. You should know the programme that replaced Breaking Through. It's the NHS's new programme for helping black people get through.
No,
It's called Ready Now, but nobody's been told, so shh, keep it a secret. It's not for black people. They don't want you to know it. Breaking Through has been changed to Ready Now. But why haven't we been told? Why haven't we been told? It's called Ready Now. So when he gets advertised, put your names down for it. You can't go on it unless you apply. You can't win a raffle unless you buy a raffle ticket. But go back, tell every black person there is a programme for developing black people called Ready Now that's run nationally, it's paid for nationally. And I'm going to make sure people know about it, and they're not going to keep it as a secret.
After 65 years already now.
So what else did Nola tell you? She told you about asking permission. I'll tell you a story about asking permission. Those of you who don't know, I used to be a fire officer. And I remember a great chief fire officer called Graham Melbourne, who's now the chair of Westminster Ambulance.
Oh, I remember him.
We organised BME events before people thought about BME events. Inviting the community to come to the fire station, that was nothing. And when we organised this event, I said to him, Asian people, black people aren't going to come to your station because you're opening the doors. Let's have a cultural evening. Let's have a Bhangra band. This we call Bhangra was popular, and I got the top Bhangra band in Birmingham to attend. The next thing I did was, you wouldn't dream of doing this now, I sold tickets. I sold tickets for people to come to the fire station and learn about the fire station and give them a message. Why? Because Asian people weren't going to come because it's free. They would say, oh, I wonder what that's all about. I don't know. And then I went to see him. I was called in with him because I was working with two of the white people who do not understand the culture of Asian people. So the chief had called them in and said, how many tickets you sold? I sold 10. How many you sold? I sold 10. What's Jack sold? He hadn't sold any. What's Wayne sold? He hadn't sold any. Right. So he calls me in and says, Jack, how many people do you think are going to come to this event? I said, I don't know. He said, how many tickets you sold? I said, I haven't sold any tickets, but I've given 200 tickets away. And when they come, I collect the money. He said, what assurance can you give me these people will turn up? I said, I don't know. Because with Asian families, if they bought a ticket, they'll come if they can come. But if something more important comes up, a family member turns up, or they've got to go to visit somebody, they won't come. But if somebody turns up, they might bring them with them. So you might end up with 4 on the 2 tickets you sold. He said, what are you telling me, that you've given 200 tickets away, 400 people may come? I said, well, the room only takes 200. He said, you know something, Jack, just go away and just make it a success. I said, are you giving me permission to get 400 people in the room? And this is the big tip. He says, you don't need to seek my permission, just seek my forgiveness when you've got 400 people. We had over 350 people in the room. They closed the good gates and said there was no function going on when people could hear the background. The following day, I learned the reason why he didn't want to give me permission. I was called in front of the Deputy Chief Fire Officer, told I was breaching the fire regulations, and I was disciplined. And then the chief called me and says, Jack, don't worry about it, so. And he called the Deputy Chief and said, you told Jack off, why? He said, because he breached the regulations. And he said, no, anybody who has 2 fire engines, qualified firefighters on the ground floor, and the functions are, they can breach the regulation any day. So we can make exceptions for anybody who's got firefighters on the premises. So he let me off it. But had he given me permission, what would have happened? He would have been So that's why people say don't seek permission, seek forgiveness. There's a very, very good reason behind it. Key skills, Nola said, and I would say 2 other things. Nola gave you a list of things to remember. I hope she can share that with you by email. I can't, because you could go and get a prescription for this, but you won't be able to get anything else. Resilience. You have to be resilient. And something they invented on Sky TV, bounce back ability. You will get knocks and knocks and knocks. It's how you bounce back. It's how you turn your back on defeat and come back and rise above it. Bounce back ability is something you're going to need all your careers. It's not something white people need. You need it all the time. And also, what did Nola say to you? On the shoulders of great people you stand. Acknowledge Nola. She has been a champion. But now it's your turn to be the person with somebody's shoulders. I was just telling a story about when I went to Bar. I was very lucky that the ratepayers, switch the TV off for a second. You as a ratepayers paid for me to go to Barbados for a conference of International Association of Black Firefighters. You know what I learned?
Oh wow, I was going to say.
They taught me lift as you climb. We had a discussion over there about black people, Asian people who don't lift as they climb, they tread on them to make them. We know plenty of women in the police, plenty of women in the fire service, in the NHS, who tread on other women to say, I don't want another woman competing with me. Don't do it. If you lift as you climb, you'll be far more powerful for it. You'll have more supporters. Leadership, Maksud mentioned. What is leadership? Leadership isn't something that's bestowed on you. It's a rank marking. It's a grade. Leadership is when you turn back and there are 20 followers. Absolutely. Leadership is followship. We should rename the term to fellowship. If you've got no followers, you're no leader. So that's what's changed. Maksud talked about the racism he faced. Yeah, I came to this country in 1961. I landed at Southampton Harbour because I came on the last ship to come through the Suez Canal, and I was stopped by immigration by a bloke who said to my uncle, "Is that a girl or a boy?" Because I had long hair. Remember the boys all used to have their good deal and all that? He said, "We can check if you like." He didn't bother. But what's changed? Forget about what's changed in Maksud days, where it was no blacks, no Irish, no dogs. Yesterday, was the day before, it was 10 years since the bombings at King's Cross. I was there. I was there in King's Cross 10 minutes before the bomb, 10 minutes after the bomb blew up.
No.
And I can remember the shutters closing in front of me. I can remember walking up to Euston Road, thinking, "Oh bloody another false alarm." And that's what London Fire Brigade is famous for, going to false alarms. So I thought I'd walk up to Euston Station. Walked up to Euston Station, closed. Turned left, went down to Russell Square. Another bomb had gone off, closed. Turned left again, walked towards Tavistock Street, closed, because the bus had been blown up. But you know what? In 10 years, today, if that happened, what would I have done? Reached in my pocket, got my phone, got Google Maps, and walked to Victoria. What would I have done? I'd have got my phone, gone on the internet, found out what was going on. Facebook, WhatsApp. 10 years. The technologies has changed. The law that's changed. The Equality Act's coming. So much has changed. Do not be the messengers of gloom. Look over your shoulder and look what's changed. Look at us here. When I have my Asian Fire Service Association functions, I'll tell you about that later, and I'm sitting with people eating from the top table. We never used to have that. You are privileged. Look at what's changed and make another change for the people coming behind you. So from Nola and from Maksud, thank you for those messages. So what's my story? Well, I've told you the first bit. I came from India in 1961, hence my accent. Brought up in Birmingham.
You're a drummy?
Oh, any Villa fans here?
Yay!
No, there's no Villa fans in there.
I'm a Villa fan. Yeah.
Oh dear, there's always one. So I joined the fire service. Why did I join the fire service in 1977? Anybody want to have it?
No, I don't know everything.
I had a degree in business studies. Why did I join the fire service? No qualifications required. I wrote 200 letters, not one reply, because the name Singh was at the top of the letters. So I'm walking past the recruitment office at Aston, and it says graduates required. I thought, well, I'm a graduate. I walked in, and they gave me the job straight away. I thought, well, dodgy, there must be something going on here. Why did they give me a job and the other 200 didn't? So I had to try and work that out and said, look, I'm going off to India for a bit, and I'll be back, and I'll tell you later when I come back. Because I knew my dad would be disappointed, my mum would be disappointed. I've got a degree, now I'm a firefighter, a manual job. But in the end, nothing came up, and I joined the fire service. And I realised the fire service was looking for men that were standing upright and breathing. They weren't looking for anybody with a degree. As a matter of fact, if you were black and had a degree, you were going to be discriminated against. And one of those things I hid. You can guess which one it was.
Now you're lying.
I never told anybody about my degree. Never. And I never ever used it because I knew they would see you as black, clever, B. So I'm going to tell you about the Fire Service College. So I get through my career and I go to the Fire Service College. The Fire Service College just down the road here. Morton the Marsh. No black person has ever been an instructor there. Hardly any black people have ever been there. Never mind having an instructor. So can you imagine walking in to 400 men eating their lunch? There's clap, clap, clap going on, and then they see a black face. And they look, and it's like the Wild West. Silence. And then all of a sudden they start eating again. And then they pause again, they look again. Because we all had lanyards, the instructors. They go, fucking hell. It's not only a black, but he's an instructor. So, I remember one experience there. My mate Wayne McCollin, some of you met, who was African Caribbean, he came and joined me. He went to a barbecue. This is how racism was in the 80s. Not so far ago. He cut his finger whilst having the barbecue. You know what they said? Oh, you bleed the same colour as us. That is a kind of naive racism that we've seen in our careers. And I was telling a story over there about how do you overcome racism. I remember being promoted to Moseley Road, one of the assistant division officers, and when I arrived there was two other white officers who thought they were the ones in line for promotion. That's the way it worked. First in, first out. So first year I'm in, I'm thinking I've got to prove, it doesn't matter to me, so I didn't apply for promotion. So you're white, you've been there longest, you're ready for promotion. You've been there next longest, you're just not ready. Me, not ready. Next year, apply for promotion, ready for promotion, not ready, not ready. Third year, I'm thinking, hang on a second, this ain't going to work. If I keep waiting for, this person, who's ready now, and he's as thick as they come, everybody knows that. He's lucky he even got a job as a firefighter, never mind assistant division officer. So I go and see the divisional commander who writes the reports. And I said, Ron, your policy's not working. He says, what do you mean? I said, for 3 years now, you've been saying ready, not ready, not ready, and this person's not even got shortlisted. So if you want to look good as a divisional commander and have your boys promoted, you're going to need somebody promoted. How are you going to do that? He said, what do you think, Jack? I said, we're all ready, aren't we? He goes, you got a point there. You've all been there 3 years, you're all experienced. Yeah, I'll do that. So these two didn't know that I'd done that. So that year, he put ready now, ready, ready, ready. And I'd also seen the shortlisting team and said, look, on my division, it's absolute crap. They're useless, the other two. This is what's been going on, and I don't know how to get past the system. So now put the thought in their mind. So when they get their shortlisting papers, we're all ready. So I get shortlisted, I get promoted before these two realise what happened. And I've gone. And that's the Levi Roots story.
Strategy.
Levi Roots says,
Strategy.
Yeah.
when he first went to a bank manager for money to expand his business, he was black and he had dreadlocks. The bank manager threw him out because he kicked down that damn door to get the money. The next time he goes to a white guy who opens the door for him and he gets the money. But the next time he goes, he's now a multi-millionaire. And what is he? Black. And he's got dreadlocks. But the bank manager opens the door and puts biscuits on the table. Now, the door isn't broken, it hasn't been kicked down, and he is now inside the room. We've got to find a way of getting in the room where we haven't kicked down that door. And I was sharing some stories at the top of the table about the BME network. The network that you are setting up needs to get these strategies. How do you open the door without breaking it? How do you engage with managers? And the lessons from BME networks is, if you're a trade union type network, where you kick down the door, you demand your equal rights, you say racism is right, you talk about grievances, you're not getting anywhere.
No, it's not that kind of network.
If you walk into the room and say, what's your strategic objective? Recruit more people that look like the community. Oh, we can help you with that. Reduce the amount of discrimination you got. Oh, we can help you with that. You've got an open door. You can do a lot more. And that is something I can share with you, with Sabrina, through lessons I've learned through networks I've worked with, and particularly one of the most efficient ones, which is the Asian Fire Service Association. So my NHS experience. Well, if I thought the fire service was crap at equality and diversity, my first foray into the NHS was the ambulance service. And I read a book called Good to Great. Any of you read that?
Jim Collins, yeah.
Well, the ambulance service is crap to crap. Can you imagine somebody who's got no BE for equality and diversity being a non-exec director, sitting on a board, and you say, can I see your single equality scheme? Can I see the evidence how you manage equality and diversity? Go, yeah, we had that. We just merged the ambulance services. It was in the old trusts. We'll get it for you. Now here is what another term called kicking the ball into the long grass. Never let anybody kick the ball in the long grass. They'd kick the ball in the long grass, but I knew about that. I kept getting the ball, coming back at the next meeting, getting the ball, coming back. 6 months later, they didn't have an answer. So what I said to them was, you know something, I know something about equality and diversity, I'll help you make it happen. And they openly welcomed it. We set up an equality and diversity committee. Remember Healthcare Commission, HCC, Standard 6C was it?
Yeah.
Which is about equality and diversity. We were non-compliant, we were red flagged. Within 12 months we were compliant. And that is what you can do to manage diversity and how you can take the ball from the long grass. Luton Dunstable Hospital, where we had one of the most wonderful organ donation nurses, blood transfusion nurses in the country. For me, I can't remember her name. When I do, I will share it with you. She was wonderful. She got me to be chair of organ donation. I became passionate about organ donation. And, you know, there's loads of stories I can share with you. And I'm really surprised and shocked, to be honest, that many people around this table don't know about the work of Gurj Randawar and around the faith-related awareness leaflets that are available to dismiss the myths that some faiths say it's not right for you to donate. You want to get that, and I'll try and get it for you. I'll try and get those documents for you to go back. But I became really engaged with organ donation. I'm really passionate about it, and as my colleague over there said, there's a Chief Fire Officer in East Sussex, Des Pritchard, who's also passionate. If you want to get in to communities, fire service is one of your ways of getting in and getting that message across. So, Maksud mentioned leadership. So I arrived at Coventry and Warwick Partnership as chairman. Equality and diversity is somewhere in the background. There is an equality and diversity officer. First time I found an equality and diversity officer in the ambulance service, it took me 3 years to appoint one. In Luton Dunstable, I had to appoint Bruno Daniels. Anybody know Bruno?
Yeah, we know Bruno.
Fantastic guy.
Yeah.
I had to appoint him as an interim consultant because they didn't have one. At least at Coventry they had one, but what do they do with the Equality Diversity Officer? No leadership, no support, no resources, sit in the corner, and you are the person we blame when we don't get it. So it's taken me almost 8 months now to get equality diversity on the agenda. When I first asked the question, I remember asking a question of the Chief Exec, where's the equality analysis against that policy? We don't have to do it. You could have shot me down with a feather. But I did not want to embarrass the Chief Exec because she was God in front of everybody else. She was about to leave, and there I bit my lip and spoke to her afterwards. We're now getting on the agenda, and one of the great things about being in Coventry Water Partnership Trust is people now get it. People now starting to ask questions, and so how do you know they get it? The other day we were looking at suicides, and so unexpected deaths due to suicide, and the data was analysed against gender and postcode. And it wasn't me that asked the question. What question would you ask? What about race? What about faith? Have you done the analysis against those? No, we haven't. Well, do it then. Because we're in a multicultural society in Warwickshire. We want to know if there's any disproportionate suicide based upon race, on faith, or is it postcode? It's not just gender. And gender, did you know, I mean, I didn't know that before, but I know now, men are two times more likely to commit suicide than women. Okay, we can do something about that. But what about African Caribbean men? Are they more likely to commit suicide than white men? And if they are, we know where they live. We can get the message out to them. Prevention is the biggest thing we've got going for us. If we don't work on prevention in the NHS, we're broke. We're finished. And the inequalities that BME people face are bigger than any other group other than gypsies and travellers. If we understand that and where they live, what the inequalities are, we can do something about it. So your agenda is about those inequalities. And I know that you know better than anybody else that we also, as BME people, don't donate tissues, organs, blood. Why is it? It's cultural, nothing to do with faith. Absolutely nothing to do with faith. And if I had time, I'd tell you a story that I told the people over there about the pub, but we'll do that another time. So what do you need? What do you need on this agenda? You need passion. You need commitment. You need to focus on outcomes and not just talk the talk. And if you look at Gandhi's quote, we are the change we've been waiting for. You don't need me, you don't need Matsud, you don't need no, you are the person. And in a BME network, what do you need? There's a simple pledge we use in the Asian Forestry Association. I can't do everything, but I won't refuse to do something that I can do. And that's the one message I give to you. Don't refuse to do the something you can do. And you know when you work as a group and somebody only turns up to meetings and doesn't do anything, value them for coming to the meeting. Don't say, I do everything, I done this, I done that, I done that. Value everybody and you'll get a lot more. Because from the little things that the person does just once a year, you will grow. If you criticize and complain and moan as a BME network, you've got no chance. Thank you.